What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the RPO College Football Podcast, your favorite podcast, your favorite college football podcast, that is. This is John Jones. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend. You already know who he is, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Ready to talk some receivers today. Huge hot topic. I know a lot of people probably want to talk about the wide receivers, especially after the combine. And right, I know we're not gonna get into too much into combine because we might say that for another podcast. We're gonna do all wide receivers today, but we gotta talk about the fastest time of all. I don't want to say all time, but of the combine history. What's your thoughts on the man over there in uh, Texas getting that record, Xavier Worthy?
It was nice to see. It was fun. It was interesting. I wish you would have caught the ball though, but again, that's just me. You know.
Yeah, my favorite thing about it was his reaction afterwards. You know, he ran it, he looked up, the time went on the screen, he just like went crazy, and that wasn't even a record. And then TJ Houshmandzadeh interviewed him, and he was like, "Come here, come here, come here. You know what you got? You got faster then." And he ran off. He couldn't believe it. And then he told him the time. He was like, "That's a record," and it was a cool reaction. So I thought the whole interaction thing. I like the fact that everybody was, happy for him, things like that. Um, but we'll see. I mean, we've seen record breaking 40 times before, in this decade. John Ross. It just happened 6 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
So it didn't pan out well with him. We'll see. I do think Worthy is a better receiver. I will say that, but we'll see. We'll see. He's even smaller than John Ross was when he came out. So we'll definitely see. He still have time to put on muscle, but we'll see. I will say that he did this one whip route, and that thing was dirty, right? Did you see that clip of him doing the whip route?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was
Yeah.
dirty.
His speed is very impressive. I just wish. I think that if you go out there and you do okay catching the ball or in the drills, I mean, I just think it just improves your stock. I mean,
Hmm.
we do have an example in John Ross that he came out there and blew everybody away in the combine and
Hmm.
could barely get on the field now.
Correct,
So,
correct, correct.
you know,
So, well, definitely see, man. I'm hoping the best for the kid. This is not us knocking him or hoping he don't do well. We do hope he does well. It's just
of course.
that caution. You're using it with caution. There you go. There you go.
I mean, I will say this: in most mock drafts that I've been looking at, he's moved up anywhere between 15 and 20 spots
Yeah,
just since last weekend.
correct. I seen it too. I seen it too.
He went from
With
like
this,
middle of the second round, then to the second round to late first round.
hmm yeah, yeah. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But let's get to our rankings, right? Our top our top wide receivers in the 2024 class. Now, let's preface this because I know what you're about to do, Ray. I know what you're about to do. There is going to be a lot of receivers in this draft. There's a lot of good ones. It's a very, very deep draft, and I 100% approve this time that Ray can have a 5B, 5A, and 5B. I'm sure. I'm like 99% sure he has one. So go ahead, Ray. Get started with your five.
I don't.
What?
I have a top five. I mean, it is a very deep class, but I went with the guys that I thought if these guys aren't number one receivers somewhere, I'd be surprised. So
Okay.
all right, okay.
Start with number five then.
Five, I have Keon Coleman. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
lie, his speed surprised me. I didn't think he was going to be. I thought he plays faster than that. And I
Yes.
still like him. The difference is I see him a little differently now, and that he'll be a high ball guy. He'll catch the ball in traffic. He'll do all the little things, and he's an explosive player. He just doesn't have the straight line speed you would have liked that he would have shown, that you
Hmm.
wish he would have shown, I should say. So
100%. He was one of those guys that I had high coming up. very low production receiver. Has a lot of upside though. He had a fairly good year this year. The speed was a little bit of concern. I don't have him in my top five grade, but he's like, I do think he's a good receiver.
Mhm.
Again, there's I'm gonna read off my number five, but there's like a couple of guys that I can interchange in this spot as well.
Oh, for sure.
But Ray, there's a reason why I gave you a pass because I picked
I mean,
that.
June, I have anywhere between 30 and 30 to 35 draftable receivers in this draft.
Yep, yep. I
So
don't.
if the order of it changes, I absolutely understand. I know one guy you're going to have higher than I do from South Carolina, which is fine. But I
Stop
think it's just
spoiling it. Stop spoiling it.
I just think it's a very, very deep class, man. It's
It is.
ridiculous.
It is.
Like kind of like the corners.
Yeah.
You probably will get good players all through the middle rounds. I mean, just that deep.
Yeah. Yeah. So so yeah, like I was saying, Ray, I gave you that pass to have a 5B. You didn't this time because I did. So I was like, let me get my guy a pass this time. I'm not gonna yell at him. And a little bit more because I didn't give a 5B. I had a 5C, right? I couldn't decide. I couldn't decide. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I took the page out of Ray's book and went further than that. I have a 5C. So my 5C is Adonai Mitchell, the other receiver from Texas. Really good. I think he's 6'3", I believe it said he was. Um, yeah, 6'3". He's a little slim at 190, but he's a guy that can definitely fill out his body a little bit. Jump ball guy, got a good speed on him with that jump ball ability. I really do like him. I think he could be a right now. He's kind of giving me a at least body wise, giving me a AJ Green type of feel to him. So if you guys liked AJ Green back then, he's a guy that I think you can get something similar with that.
And I know everybody's going to talk about Xavier Worthy, but I have Mitchell as a higher ranked player, to be honest with
I
you.
agree. I agree. 5A and I'm sorry, 5B and 5A are two guys that I've been high on before seeing any kind of testing, any kind of nothing. These guys I've been super high on, so I had to pick them on my list. Um, and Ray, you probably know one of the two. Probably you probably both know both of them because I've been really high on both of these guys. They're this past season and even before they went to the combine, and the fact that they went to the combine and killed the combine, I thought I felt that much more stronger about them. That's why I have a C because I'm like I can't leave these guys off or leave them off a list. So my 5B will be Ricky Parasol from Florida. He killed it at the combine. But not only that, I've seen a lot of production out of him at Florida. I was very high on him all season, Ray. I think you heard me mention Persol. I wish he had a little bit more production at the Senior Bowl. I think he got injured at some point, but he was looking real good at one point, and then all of a sudden he kind of like disappeared, like got lost in the bunch, I guess. Again, a lot of good receivers, especially at an All Star game, you're not gonna get all the reps. So I think he kind of got like overlooked or overshadowed in that. But he was a real guy. And my 5A, Ray, you already mentioned him. You already spoiled them. Xavier Leggett, man, I had to get him one here. You already know. I already went online and said that he's an AJ Brown type of receiver. Somebody found that, took it online, and took my comp from him. But he ran actually faster than AJ Brown. He actually ran faster than AJ, and he looks very solid, smooth hands. A lot of people are going to be down on him for his stats. His stats don't look the greatest, but also like I just think that he has that makeup and ability to look really good. He was at the Senior Bowl as well. Looked very good out there. I got to interview him. I'm telling you, his shoulder was as big as my head. Dude was huge. So I
See,
really like it.
I like Legit a lot. I have him in my top 10, obviously. I have him like 7.
Mhm.
Where I would like to see him in Miami is he would
Mm.
be a very nice slot guy, a bigger slot guy,
Mhm.
as opposed to my speed that I have on the outside. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's where
Or you could put Tyreek in the inside, keep him outside.
you could put Tyreek anywhere, but yes, you could put
Yeah, for
either
sure.
one of them guys in the slot too, and
Yeah.
then maybe put him outside. I just think like with Tua having that taller receiver in the middle of the field would be
Mhm.
kind of nice. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast. I really do like him. So
and
right.
and he has 4.3 speed, 4.38, 4.37.
Yes.
So you get that to add to that. I mean, I do expect Miami to draft a receiver. I don't
Mhm.
know where they will draft a receiver, and I really want them to move out of the first round and try to get more draft picks because
Definitely.
the middle rounds of this draft for wide receiver and corner and offensive line is going to be really good. And that's where I need to get some players there where I don't have to pay them a lot of money because right now my guys I'm paying a lot of money to, man.
Definitely. 100%. Ray, was you on the podcast with us when I think it was our post Senior Bowl podcast and he was talking about the Xavier Leggett and then I think it was Luke Winston got on with us and he was talking about he expects Leggett to run a 4-2, four
Mm.
three, 4-2, something like that.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think he was on that one, but that podcast when he said that, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, if he runs something like similar to that or even close, I'm picking him in the first round." Like, and I don't know if you can because how deep this receiver class is still, and that's how deep this receiver class is because you got a guy that
Man,
ran a 4-3, he ran a 4-3, and he might not even go in the first round still.
Jordan,
But
I have first five guys, six guys with first round grades. Legit
mm,
is right outside that. So
yep,
he's no later than an early second round pick.
I agree. I
That's
agree.
really about as far as I see him going down, especially with
Yeah.
if he goes to a camp somewhere or a practice facility with a team and he shows like little things like being able to catch the ball consistently, which really that's where he thrives. Really, he catches the
Hmm.
ball really pretty
Oh
well.
yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
again, if you get him, man, in the second round, that'd be nice.
He made this really like athletic like catch
It,
at the Senior Bowl. Oh
yeah,
my god! Like it was like he was about to get out. He was about to get out of bounds, and like he like literally just like grabbed it like this, falling back and put his feet down and caught it. I was like, that was one of them. And then the other fact that like you would you see when you get big guys that can catch like they can catch like that. That's what
you know,
makes them great
you,
because they can catch like that. There was a clip of him running this route, and it was so crisp for a guy that big to be running that crisp of a route. Maybe I can find it, put it up for you guys. But it was insane what he did on that route, and I was just like, "Whoa, okay, yeah, that's my
it
guy."
just sucks in a way because Kansas City basically has the Chiefs. I mean, have two weaknesses. They need corners because they're going to lose Snead, I believe, and they need a wide receiver. And the draft is filthy deep in both of them positions, dude. So
100%. Yeah, it's
scary.
going to be very, very, very.
Yeah.
All right, Ray. While I'm gonna kind of look for that clip, but while I'm looking for the clip, give us your number 4 guy.
I have Brian Thomas from LSU at number 4.
Definitely.
A big body guy, ran a 4.33 40. I mean, don't talk about that's crazy speed for a guy who's 6 foot over 6'4", over 200 pounds. But
Hmm.
again, they're just like growing from trees in this draft. So, guy's going to be a good player, man. Very good player. Um, I think a lot of these guys depend on where they go, though. I see him going in the first round, but I think he's more like at the end of the first round. I think him and Coleman will both be end of the first round, early second round guys, probably.
Yeah.
But so it depends on where he goes. But if he goes to the right team, I think
Hmm.
he could be a real playmaker, man.
100%, 100%. I found the clip. Let me see if I can put it up for you guys real quick. Hold on. So, oops, sorry. Let me pick this up for you guys so y'all can see this real quick. All right, so this post was from Jim Nagy at the Senior Bowl. Look how he broke that down and got separation. And
Hmm.
you know, at his size, oof, that's crazy. And
Yeah.
I think there was another one. So let me show you the uh this one. So this is the one I was telling you about when he found separation and then got the ball and tapped his feet down as he was falling back. It was insane. I seen this live. I was like, ooh yeah, that was crazy.
Hmm.
So stuff like that, man. It just he can definitely get separation. He's a bigger guy, but man, his route running is actually really good. So
Mhm.
all right, let me get to my number four guy, and our number four guys are the same guy, Brian Thomas. I had him very high in the first round in our mock draft a couple of weeks ago. I had him going to the Colts, which I think was like 15 or 16, something like that. Very talented guy. Showed a lot of speed in the 40 as well. One of the top guys, I believe, too. Um, now that he ran his 40, I think people are starting to try to think about him in that area where where the Colts can actually pick him up. I would be surprised. I'll not surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts go that route. They got Michael Pittman who's on the franchise tag right now. I can't see them going heavy in free agency right now with to get in a receiver. So somebody like a Brian Thomas to come in, have a little bit more speed than Pittman does. I think that'll be a great
Plus,
complimentary
they're
player.
both
And then
tall guys.
Pittman,
They're both tall guys. I mean, I
yeah,
think they would work well together.
especially with Anthony Richardson, that will help
I
him a
mean,
lot.
he's going to need guys that can, because I don't know if reading defense is going to be a strength for him right away. You know,
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I think that would be a good match. All right, let's get to our number three guy. Ray, who you have?
I have Romo Dunes from Washington.
I
Another guy who ran a 4.45 40, 6'3", 215. This guy made plays all over the place. We talked about last week about how his quarterback had really good receivers, and he's just one of them. So
No, 100%. I got the same guy. I got Rome. I keep calling him Rome Duze as well. I think that he is he obviously he was Penix's number one receiver, and he has a lot of good abilities. He can get in and out his breaks really fast. He's a really good route runner. Um, I think the difference between him and some of the other guys, there is a certain level of confidence that he has when he's in the game. And he just looked like a guy that's like, I'm gonna catch every single thing, no matter what. And I like that out of my receivers. I like the guy that goes on the field, like, who has that kind of feel for me, Ray?
who's that?
Devontae Smith. He's another one, bro. Like he just go on the field and he's like, I don't care how big you are, I'm just gonna go out here and work.
Yeah,
And you're not gonna. It's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. He got that type of swagger about him where he's just out there like,
he's a pro.
okay, yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
pro. Yeah,
He feels like a pro already.
yeah.
Exactly. So I love that about him. That's one of my number three as well. Ray. Number two, who you got?
Malik Neighbors from LSU.
Yep.
A guy again, just making plays all over the field. Uh, it's kind of lazy to compare him to Jamar Fletcher, but that's what the people want to do. So I just don't understand. Like, how does LSU
Me and
keep
Jermaine Chase.
Jamar Chase? I'm sorry, yeah. How do they keep getting these receivers, man? I don't understand. I don't.
I feel like every year, and it's funny because now they had really good quarterback play this year, but like every other year, you'd be like, man, how this receiver so good? The quarterback play wasn't even that great.
You had,
Like,
I mean, you had Neighbors and you had Brian Thomas too.
mm-hmm.
I mean, like, how is the quarterback not good?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, same with
But
Joe Burrow. Same with Joe Burrow. He
like,
had two really
yeah,
good receivers too.
yeah, yeah,
Makes you better.
yeah. I mean, honestly, when you look at it, he had two of the top five receivers in the league. Is what he
Yep,
had.
yep. It's
When you think about
crazy.
it now, and you think like, I mean, here's the thing, and I don't want to get into the whole quarterback thing because I love Joe Burrow. I think he's a very
Right.
good player,
I
but
agree.
I wonder sometimes if when he was just everybody around him was so good, and he's a focused kid. I get that.
Hmm.
I wonder if it was just like, wow, this is really easy at some point. You know, like this is really not as
I
hard.
think he kind of said something like that before, actually. Which honestly, I hate when young guys kind of say that.
I mean, when you look at, I mean, then he went from there to Cincinnati, and he's got his buddy with him, and he already had a good receiver when he got there.
Hmm.
So I mean, like again, I like Joe Burrow. He's a money player. He is. He's a very good quarterback. He's one of five franchise quarterbacks in the league. But I just don't know.
There you go.
I think sometimes it's beneficial to you when you play with other good players. It kind of makes you maybe it helps build up your confidence also. You know.
Hmm. No, I agree. I agree. Um, yeah, and now Jaden Daniels is the beneficiary of another two good receivers at LSU. So I mean, they keep receive like I think LSU is the how you call the skill position, I guess, skill
Yeah.
position type of school. They
I
always
mean,
get receivers. They always get corners.
you say, man, you look at the fact that like cornerback on defense is probably the second most important position on the field.
Hmm.
I mean, unless you like, I would say defensive ends, pass rushers, obviously, and then some guys would debate if it's a defensive tackle who does a little bit of everything, or if it's corners. I think if you there's different ways to get their sacks. You can get them through coverage, or you can get them through guys dominating up front. I
Hmm.
just think that wide receiver, again, on offense is probably next to offensive tackle and quarterback, like one of the top two or three positions, even though you only pay them guys to the 30 years old usually, but you're
Hmm.
paying them a lot of money until then.
Yeah.
So again, but they're the positions that LSU seems to thrive at. They get them guys left and right, man. It's just
Hmm.
crazy at this point.
It is crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, so Malik Neighbors is definitely a big name. Obviously, before we get to our number one guy, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows who that's going to be.
Right.
I do want to thank everybody that's checking us out right now. We got a good amount of followers or viewers right now. Please make sure you go follow us on Twitter. We are very close to hitting that 10,000. We need um, less than 800 more, like around like 700 more people to get 1,000. So if you guys can definitely share, like, and also make sure that you are following us, or make sure your friends are following us. We do the podcast every Wednesday, and we have a high school football podcast on Tuesday night. If you haven't watched that, go watch that because we had a nice little uh, top 25 players in Georgia for the 2025. So go check that out if you haven't seen that yesterday as well. Um, but you're right. Reveal our number one. I'm pretty sure both of us have it. Um, and that's going to be Roman Wilson, right?
Yeah, yeah, Roman Wilson. I'm surprised you don't have him on the list. But
I don't. I don't. I was struggling with it. I was actually really trying to be honest, but I just couldn't do it.
I like Roman
Go ahead,
Wilson.
Ray.
That's
I do
another
too.
story. Of course, it's Marvin Harrison Jr., dude. Is there
Yeah.
anybody else really? I mean, I see some mock drafts where people don't have him as the number one receiver, but I think then people are just trying to play games with themselves, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
If you don't believe that Marvin Harrison is as good as advertised, watch Ohio State's offense without him in the lineup.
Yeah, I
Then
agree.
see what you think then.
That's
So,
the one. That's the one position that I can't debate that Ohio State gets all the time because they always constantly getting those really high 5-star receivers, 4-star receivers, really good players. So, obviously his name come from his dad. He got a Hall of Famer in his house, being able to help and teach him as well. Not saying that that's all the factor, but that does help having
I
somebody that
think
knows the
it's
game
part of the
and how to.
reason why he does. See, it's not just he's a great athlete, but he has everything else. He runs routes.
Yeah,
He pitches the ball. He kind of does a little
right.
bit of everything, and he's physically imposing, which his father wasn't.
Yeah,
I mean, Marvin
exactly.
Harrison was a
It's that
great
Mark
route
Harrison is very small.
runner. He was fast, but he was probably like
Yeah,
5'11".
yeah, yeah. He
So
was. He was.
this kid has size to go with everything else. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I will say this though, Ray. Marvin Harrison is the best receiver, but the next receiver under him is not that. It's not a huge gap. Like I feel like there's people think there's a huge gap. I don't think there's a huge gap. I'll say that he's the number one, but I don't think there's a huge gap.
I don't neither. I think that really Malik Neighbors and the Dunes are right there athletically.
Hmm.
Maybe the difference is Marvin Harrison was around a Hall of Fame coach father who
Correct.
probably taught him all the nuance, the other things.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, Malik Neighbors has all the ability in the world. Dunes has all the talent in the world. These guys are going to be number one receivers somewhere. If they're not, I'll be
Correct.
surprised.
Correct.
But Marvin Harrison, put it this way: Dunes has the size of Marvin Harrison.
Hmm.
Malik
Yeah.
Neighbors has the route running,
Hmm.
but he has all of it. So
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's hard not to put him in number one. But you're right. There is usually in a draft for a wide receiver like that, the next guy would be way below him, and he's not because again we keep talking about the depth of the draft for wide receiver. That it's everywhere.
It's it is. It's very deep, and and I hope nobody, you know, maybe the new viewers don't know, but I am a Michigan guy. But that's not, me saying that it's not a huge gap. It's not a down. It's not. I'm not downing Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm just saying that I'm just upbringing how good this wide receiver class is.
I mean,
So
it doesn't take a genius to figure that out, though, Jerome. If you watched LSU play, if you watched Washington play, you know these kids are pretty good players, man. I mean, Marvin
right.
Harrison is here. You know what the difference is? Marvin Harrison was the alpha dog on Ohio State, where these
Hmm.
guys all were like pretty close with guys on their team.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Yeah,
there's like
because
we just
I
got
mean,
the death of wide receiver for LSU. They had two
mhm,
guys that are going to be number one receivers probably somewhere.
yeah.
Ohio State had Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, well, the Abuke, he's a pretty good receiver too. Like,
He
don't get me
is
wrong,
good.
that receiver class is their receiver group is not that. It's not like that. It was just that Marvin Harrison was featured in his offense more than anybody else.
He needed to be featured though.
Yeah.
When he wasn't featured, their offense was really bad.
So, hope I'm not butchering your name. Tremani. What's going on, man? Appreciate you getting on. Appreciate you commenting. Let us know who's some of your favorite receivers, man. Appreciate you getting on. But yeah, I agree with that, right? I do. So let's get to our sleepers. So we're gonna get to our wide receiver sleepers of this. Ray, you look like you're excited to talk about this, man.
Well, I have one of my guys that are like one of your like. I have Ricky Pearsall as a sleeper
Hey,
because I think he's a guy who could develop into a number one receiver. I think
yes.
there's size and there's speed there that
Hmm.
unutilized potential at Florida. To be honest with you, I think there's more
Correct.
talent than what he showed in college. I do.
Yeah.
And then my next guy is Luke McCaffrey because I think it
Mm.
was going to find himself a nice slot receiver on Luke McCaffrey. And if nothing else, he's going to be an excellent special teams player for you. So,
Yeah, I was actually surprised with his speed, to be honest, Ray.
yeah.
He ran a lot faster than I thought he was going to. So
I
very
mean,
surprised by speed.
it used to be a 4.4 guy was actually really like that was really fast. And now it's
Hmm.
like they're all over the
It's
place.
normal. Yeah, it's like a normal. It's more normal now. Yeah. So when you don't see him running 4.4, it's kind of like whoa. Like
It's like ooh.
Yeah, and the 4.5 is not that slow.
I mean, that's what happened with Keon Coleman. Like he
Mm-hmm.
thought, oh, there's a 4.5 athlete without a doubt, and then 4.6. Ooh,
Yeah. 4.6
you
is not
know,
terrible. 4.6 is not terrible.
no,
We
I
can live with
mean,
that.
with his size and length,
Yeah,
it just changes what you think he'll be downfield now. It's more
correct.
like he's a possession guy. He's probably not a downfield guy. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So
Correct. Yeah. Ricky Pearsall, man. I'm glad you did mention him and you have him on your sleeper. The only thing that bothers me about Ricky Pearsall is that man's hair. He needs to cut his hair.
pay attention
His
to
hair
people's
that
hair,
bothers me.
man. I mean,
Huh?
I don't pay attention to his hair, man. Jay-Z looks like something's growing out of his hair.
That's true.
I don't
That's true.
like, the one thing that bothers me about him is the 190 pounds.
Yeah, he's a little slim.
He's not not too thick, but not too slim either.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it will be. That's why I was glad to see the 4.4 speed come out 4.41.
Correct.
I'm like,
Correct.
you know what? Well, at that speed, he plays fast, but you
Mm-hmm.
didn't know he was going to time that fast. You know what I mean?
Definitely. No, I
Again,
agree.
Florida utilized him.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And he originally started from Arizona State.
Arizona State, yes.
Yeah, so that's when I his name kind of like resonated with me. Then he went to Florida, and I see some production. I was like, oh yeah, this kid, I like him, and he was definitely underutilized. He was.
He was,
Um.
they tried to find different ways to get him to hand the ball in his hands.
Mhm.
And they did, but nothing was downfield. And I think he has more downfield
Yeah.
ability than what they showed at Florida. And that's my thing. Not that they didn't try to give him the ball, they did, but it
Mhm.
wasn't what I would think like a guy who's 6 foot, 190 pounds, running the four. Why isn't he going downfield at all? But a
Right.
lot of it was because their offensive line is not great. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in 2013, he only had 65 receptions, 4 touchdowns, and 900 something yards. So
Yeah,
um, definitely underutilized. Definitely underutilized.
yeah.
All right, let me get to my sleepers. So Ray, you had Luke McCaffrey, who
Hmm.
is the son of.
Ed McCaffrey.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Now my sleeper. It might not be too much a sleeper. I think he's a sleeper because I don't hear nobody talk about him enough. My receiver is a son of a former NFL player. Not only the son of a former NFL player,
Can
not
I
Marvin
say
Harrison.
Lad McConkey?
Lad, no.
Okay. All right.
Last that was in the NFL?
Phil McConkey.
Really?
That played for the Giants.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Okay.
No, my guy is a Hall of Famer's son.
Oh, Rice. Brandon Rice.
There you go. Brandon Rice.
Okay.
Brandon Rice, man. He impressed me a lot at the Senior Bowl, man. Actually, to be honest, outside of the game, because I don't even think he got like that many targets in the game. He probably was one of my favorite receivers out there. Leggett was up there, but Brandon or Brennan, I forget. I'm sorry, his name's Brennan. Brennan was the most consistent receiver out there. I'm sorry. And with he again another big guy that ran some really good routes. And obviously, you know who your dad is, Jerry Rice, a extreme route runner. So he did really well with his size and everything like that. The other thing that impressed me is the kid was full of energy. Nobody on that daggone field, had the energy, had the charisma, great interviewer, had me and the Sam laughing throughout the interview. He's a good kid, man. So, Jerry Rice
You
raised a really good
know,
one right there.
you know what bothers me about him, Jerome?
What's
Like
that?
his speed was 4.5, which is solid.
Hmm.
Broad jumped 9.11, which is just solid.
Hmm.
He only had a 36 and a half vertical, which is just solid. I mean, I don't know if he does anything athletically that separates him from.
That's why he's a sleeper. I mean,
I
did we
get
say the
that.
same thing about Jerry Rice? Did we say the same thing about Jerry Rice? He had a very slow 40.
He did have a slow 40, but his vert was better than that. His broad jump was way better than that.
Definitely.
His
You know,
father
what's
was
funny?
more explosive athlete than he is.
I
Like
agree.
Jerry Rice is a like it's funny because like that was the knock on Rice coming out of college. He's not that fast, but you never saw anyone catch him from behind. Never.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Same thing with Terrell Owens. People are like, oh, he's not that fast. Yeah, I know what. Trying to cut tackle from Terrell Owens from behind is like trying to catch a piano from falling down a flight of steps, dude. Okay, like you would have run into that guy from behind.
That's
God,
crazy.
okay, like, there's just certain guys that are on a different level, man.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, I
What was
like
I
Brandon
about?
Rice too, but I think if he does, I think he will be a slot receiver who can create separations because I know he's already a good route runner.
Mhm.
That's that's my only question though. Is he just been coached that well that he's a little ahead of everyone else, or is he going to be able to improve and be a better player? I'm not sure about that.
Correct.
I have
Yeah,
this.
and that, me having him as a sleeper is not saying that he's gonna be a number one guy. He's just a sleeper. That means he's gonna be a guy that kind of comes out of nowhere and people like, oh shoot, who's this Rice kid? Oh, that's Jerry Rice son. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, Jerome,
Um,
there's going to be like we said. There's going to be guys that we probably have from like 15 to 30 that are probably going to be better than the guys we have in the top 15. It's
correct,
just the nature of the beast, man. You never know.
correct.
You never know who has it here or here. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
You don't
Puka
know.
Nakua.
You, know, you
Yep,
don't
Puka
know.
Nakua.
Correct. You just don't know that. So
Yeah,
a guy
yeah.
like Puka, 4'5'7", six
Hmm.
foot tall. I mean, you think, well, there's really not a whole lot there, but he just wants it more than other guys, dude.
Hmm.
So he does the little things. And
Correct,
being a
correct.
great route runner is an easy way to get open.
100%.
So,
100%. What was I about to say? Oh, get back to Rice. It was funny because he got on my radar early in his career. He was at uh Colorado. He was a receiver at Colorado at first, and then when Dion came in, he transferred. But I thought it was cool because I remember watching him. First time I seen him, he returned a kick return, and I think he either got the touchdown or almost got the touchdown. He was really close. But it was such a dynamic like kick return. I was like, "Ooh, this kid's nice." And
I,
then I see him at the Senior Bowl. I'm like, "Is that the same kid?" And it was, but he got a lot bigger. So
no,
he,
he
yeah,
has gotten much taller and filled out a lot more the last couple,
yeah,
which can only help him. And
correct.
the other thing about him is like you could tell he's a smart kid. You really
Hmm.
can by watching how he kind of sits in the zones and make sure his quarterback sees him right away. He does all the little things really well. He
Yeah,
does. You
yeah,
know?
yep. I got one more sleeper real quick before we get to our small school. Is you Ray, I had to get one of my blue guys in here, Michigan. But it's not who you think. I'm gonna pick Cornelius Johnson as a sleeper. Cornelius Johnson is for me is the next Nico Collins. The guy that just comes out of nowhere. He's gonna be productive. He's gonna have a solid. He can have a solid career. Um, it took us a while to understand how good Nico Collins is. Now, don't get me wrong. Nico Collins is a lot more athletic. I think he's a lot more athletic. But Johnson been really impressing me this offseason. I mean, I liked him. Obviously, Michigan fan. A lot of people don't know who he is. He don't get a lot. He wasn't getting a lot of catches. Obviously, been in the run first offense. Second receiver to Roman Wilson. Obviously, Roman Wilson was the guy. You know, but there was times that he showed some flashes with Michigan, and I'm just like, I actually thought he was going to be the number one receiver this year. I thought Roman Wilson was going to be two. Cornelius Johnson is going to be the guy that kind of steps in that role. It didn't really happen like that. Roman Wilson kind of surprised me a little bit more. But Cornelius Johnson, he has a lot of ability, and he showed it at the East Fresh Shrine game. He was one of the best receivers out there. The combine, he had a very solid combine times and things like that. Good broad jump. verts and everything like that. So, for me, I think he's a guy that can definitely like sneak up on you and be, not he's not in the same motives at Peoples Jones, but like he might sneak up on people like a Peoples Jones, Donovan Peoples Jones from Michigan as well. A guy that shows a lot of production, but not necessarily a one, maybe not even a two, but a guy that could come in, be very productive, and have a long career with a team as a third or fourth guy.
No, I'm intrigued. I like his size. I like
Hmm.
he does a lot of little things well too.
Correct.
Again, we talk about Michigan. They never use receivers the right way, man. They never
Mhm.
really do. So, I mean, I think you're right. I think I wouldn't say he's Nico Collins, but I think you may see where
Yeah.
he's more utilized as an NFL player
Yeah,
because
yeah. Nico Collins established himself as a wide receiver too, at the least. You know.
he did, and honestly, I think that he's really benefited like coming into his own and then having a young quarterback that he can kind of
Correct.
grow with will help both of them.
Correct.
To be honest with you,
Correct. Correct.
the question
Yeah.
is, will Houston pay Nico Collins? Because I think he's due money already.
He might be. I think he's in the league a
You
few
know, I
years
think it was like
already.
a third round pick or a fourth round pick, and
Yeah,
he's
he's about to go in his
fourth
fourth. He's
year.
about to go. He's about to go in his fourth year.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
he's either in his franchise year or he's being franchised, one or the other.
No, he's going into his fourth year. I think
Fourth year,
this is coming up to his fourth year. So
yeah.
he's safe for this year, but he's due for a contract after the season.
I honestly, I would want more money now. But, and I'm not a pro player, you know that, Jerome. But
Yeah.
I would rather not have to play this year unless I know I have a contract the next year or two.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
No, I
'cause
agree.
if not, I got to be a little careful this year. Maybe take out some insurance in case something happens.
100%.
You know,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to our last topic. Is small school guys. Small school guys is guys from small schools. Maybe people don't know about. Ray, let's let you hear your first
Well, I have Jaquan Jackson from Tulane.
one.
He's a
Okay.
5'9", 190-pound guy. Um, Another 4.42 guy. I think on special teams he will help you right away. Just a matter of can he get at it? Can he get out of bump coverage? You may have to use him in the slot to really get a lot of production out of him. But again, I like him. And Jalen Coker from the Holy Cross.
Mm-hmm.
Another kid is four
Ooh,
or five kid who,
Holy Cross guy.
yeah, nice player. Did a lot for that team, but of course, I mean, that's why he's going to be drafted. So, but a
Yeah.
nice player. And again, I see him some mock drafts. See him get taken late. Some of them
Mhm.
don't have him getting drafted at all. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
Yeah, that's gonna be the issue with a lot of these receivers at the end of this. I mean, looking at the list that I have, there's a good like 20 guys that probably don't even get drafted just because again, deep draft, but they're gonna go somewhere and be productive, man. Telling you,
I agree, Jerome. I think that I have up to like 33, 34 guys that are draftable players. I mean, again, and you only need one team to like you.
hmm
So that's the key thing to being a draftable player.
Yep.
And it's we already know the top 8 to 10 guys. It's funny if where Troy Franklin goes or Romo Wilson goes or Jamari Thrash goes or Johnny Wilson from Florida State. Where are those guys? Where do they go? Do they go to a good situation? Do they go to a team who really can utilize their skills, or are they just filling out the end of people's roster, sixth, seventh round,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, you had Bo Milton last year, who was what, seventh runner, I think. Did played really well for the Packers. So, all right, let me get to my small school guys. The first guy I'm going to say is a guy from Southeast. How you call it? What was the school? Southeast Missouri State. Ryan Flournoy. I think I said his name right. Another Senior Bowl guy, 6'2", 205 pounds. Very fluent in his route running. He was a guy at the Senior Bowl. He kept flashing. I'm like, who's that guy? Who's that guy? because it's funny because like his helmet is all black, but then you see like red on the side. So for some, every time I see it, like you know how like you see something like real fast and you're just like, oh, was that the whole time? Every time he caught the ball, I thought it was Leggett. Now sizes are not the same, but just seeing it real flash and seeing that color on his helmet, I was like, oh, Leggett got it again, and it was him. He just kept flashing the entire time at the Senior Bowl, and he didn't do anything spectacular. He got this one-handed catch or caught it on somebody's head. But he was just getting open and just catching those nice little 5-out routes and slant routes and things like that. And he was smooth doing it. So I thought he was a guy that, you know, and Jim Nagy's like really praising this guy, man. He really likes him, and he rightfully so. He did all the small things right. So I think, don't quote me on this, but I think he said that Ryan has the potential of being the next Puka, like not in the production wise, but like coming out of nowhere, like people getting to know him. So we'll definitely see. Another guy I have, this guy is from Eastern Kentucky, Makai Courtley. Um, Nice little receiver there. Trying to find his stats real quick. I just had it. I know Ray probably has it. Knowing him.
I have his size
There he is.
5'11", 200 pounds.
You have what?
5'11",
Five,
200
five,
pounds.
11, 200. Yeah, that's what I got. Okay,
Kentucky.
cool. Western Kentucky. Did I say East? I'm gonna say West. Western Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Really shifty guy. I really do like him. Another guy that has some good route running on him. He got a little speed on him as well. He showed that he had some solid hands. There was a couple of times where he got open deep a lot during the Senior Bowl. Another Senior Bowl guy, by the way. So and obviously some of the quarterback play was kind of hindering him at the Senior Bowl, but he showed a lot of promise as well. He was another guy that kept flashing things like that. So that's gonna be my two super guys. Obviously, they're Senior Bowl guys, so I got to see them a little bit more intensely and got to see them in person. But I like those guys.
He's another kid, Jerome, 4.43 speed.
Yeah. Yep.
And again, solid size. I mean, I didn't see what I would have liked. I wish I would have watched him play on special teams.
Yeah.
If he did anything on special teams, like I think the one mistake that teams make, they think that anybody can play special teams. I don't agree with that, man.
I don't.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think you could teach somebody to do just about anything, but to expect him to come in and do something that he's never done at a high level right off the bat is not. It doesn't, especially not in the NFL, dude.
100%.
Everything is.
I'll tell you this: when I used to play, Ray, that was the one thing I loved. I love special teams. Now, when I became a starter. After I became a starter, after I was like, okay, guys, they're gonna take me up for special teams. I'll be winded right after.
That's the problem, though. When you're on special teams, you may get winded. Then you got to go out there the very next play, and you're like, you're still sucking air. You know what I mean? Like that's. Yeah. I was the same way, Jerome. After I liked it in the beginning because it got me on the field.
Correct.
And then after that, it's like, ooh, I don't need to be on the field that much. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm one of the guys that really don't get tired that much, man. Like when I played hockey, people hated to play hockey with me because they were like, "Man, you never want to come off the friggin' rink." I'm like, yeah, well, I'm having fun, But I don't look at it like that. I mean, I don't know. I used to be the same way. I like playing special teams in the beginning when I first started playing football, and after a while, I was like, I'm not so sure about this,
Yeah. I hear you. I love special teams.
You know what, Jerome?
I've ever do this playing, right?
So just so I looked up some stats for him, and 79 receptions, 984 yards, 11 touchdowns. So solid numbers.
Yeah. He's a big play guy, man. Big play guy. So I like that.
He was corner and wide receiver in high school.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice. All right, Ray, let's get to our wide receiver fits. So I'm going to read off a couple of guys. You're going to give me their best fits, and we see how it goes from there. So let's start with a guy that we did not mention at all. Well, you kind of mentioned him, Ray. Lad McConkey.
Ooh, you know what? I'd hate to see him on Kansas City, but I would love
Everybody's
him
taking my.
on Kansas City. I mean, anybody who has a quarterback that can extend plays, Buffalo, Philadelphia, anybody who has a quarterback like, unless you have Tom Brady or someone who's like that in the pocket, a slot guy can only be good with a playmaking quarterback because they have more time to get open.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ray, I don't know if you remember. I did pick him in our mock draft to the Chiefs at 32,
I just
and
think
I said if because me and Sam both watched that, and I think he's don't get me wrong, really good player, but he's getting a little too overhyped down there. He was just like it's acting like he was. Yeah, they was acting like he was the best
he
receiver.
has the attitude. He has just the name.
Yeah, yeah, he good kid. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, but it was a little too overhyped because he was getting shut down by some corners that a lot of, I mean, outside of maybe me that I'm high on this
He
corner,
was
but
playing
there's a couple
hurt too,
corners.
though. Not making excuses, just saying he was playing hurt for a while there.
Yeah. He's playing
I
hurt,
think
but
on a team with a good quarterback, he can be that guy for you.
yeah, and that's why I said in that mock, if you get him on a Chiefs team at the end of first round, I would hate to see it, and I don't think he's a first round wide receiver. But you put him on the Chiefs, you're gonna
He's
make him a
not.
first round.
He's not. The Chiefs would never. See, that's why I mean I don't know if the Chiefs would take a wide receiver with the first pick.
Really?
I don't know that. I don't know if they would. Andy Reid never traditionally does not draft wide receivers high.
I
Yeah,
mean, Jeremy Macklin,
Freddie Mitchell.
Freddie
That's
Mitchell.
more high after that. No, Macklin
Yeah.
was a first round pick.
Who?
Deshaun was a second round pick.
He had
Jackson.
Deshaun was his second. He also had, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had no, was it Rager?
No, he didn't
Was
draft
it?
Rager. He wasn't
He
here
didn't
then.
draft Rager. No.
No,
Okay.
he wasn't
Gotcha.
here.
I mean, not Rager. The one before that. Nelson Aguilar. Sorry, Nelson Aguilar. I think he drafted him.
He may have. I don't remember that for sure though, Jerome.
If
But
he
he
did,
may have.
it was right before he left Kansas City.
That may have been a Chip Kelly pick.
It might have been.
He liked
Actually, it was.
he
It was a
liked he
Chip Kelly.
loved the Pac-12 kids too. So
Yeah, it was a Chip Kelly guy. It was a Chip Kelly guy.
okay, all right, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it does. All right, let's get to another one. Troy Franklin, Ray from Oregon.
Troy Franklin. You know what? I'm going to give him a. I think he would work good with a Buffalo or
Hmm.
with a big strong arm, a quarterback with a big strong arm, because I think he's going to be a downfield guy, good 4.4 speed, 6'2", not as much a route runner as a guy who's going to try to run vertical routes. And I think that playing with a guy with a quarterback like that could be beneficial to him. I'm trying to think, I mean, maybe you put him on the other side of Nico Collins in Houston. You get some use out of him there, even though they have Dell. I mean, if you get him when Nico and Dell comes back, you put him in the slot. Now you're cooking. You know what I mean? So something
Yeah.
like that.
What do you think about this one, Ray? The Jaguars.
Well, Jacksonville needs wide receiver help, without a doubt.
Yeah.
A couple of okay guys there. They need to be careful because Trevor Lawrence is getting a lot of heat right now.
Hmm.
Don't think he's going to be all that. They're not guys that are huge football fans because man, I'm not even on Trevor Lawrence. Am I a little surprised that he's not playing a little better? I am, but I'm not because their offense does not have a lot of playmakers except for the running back.
But this is my thing, Ray. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just think that one, he dominates so much in college. I get it. He dominated.
Yeah.
He was a dominated for it. So he's not showing that in the NFL, which is fine because he's not a bad quarterback in the NFL. It's the fact that he dominated in college and he was a first overall pick. And when you do that, people expect you to be Tom Brady, you know?
With the territory, though, Jerome.
Yeah, you're right.
It does, man. It comes with the territory, and you got to either you're a big boy or not. And I like Trevor Lawrence, and I think he's extremely talented still. I just
Mm-hmm.
like. I think they need to beef up the offensive line a little bit and get some playmakers for him, man. I do,
Yeah,
and
they do.
I don't understand why it's taking so long down there because it looked like they were cooking 2 years ago. Then last year they kind of regressed a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not sure. Let's get to a couple of more receivers, then we're gonna get out of here. Roman Wilson. We haven't talked a lot about him. Would be good for him.
Roman Wilson, you know what, Jerome? He's another guy, man. 4.39, solidly built. Um, I know you wanted to see him on the Eagles, wouldn't you?
I would love that. I would love that. I mean, any of my Michigan guys, him. I'm big on seeing if McCorm will go to the Eagles. I would love that. Any of those guys, I think they'll be good fit
I
for the
would
Eagles.
not be surprised if Roman Wilson winds up going to like the Chargers, man.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That makes sense.
You're going
Uh,
to see
uh,
a lot of players that are going to get linked to Jim Harbaugh now,
oh yeah,
especially after
100%,
Michigan.
100%. And
Especially
after,
Roman Wilson
I feel
is a
like
good
after
player.
after this first round, the Chargers have free roam to get any of their Michigan guys after the
Um,
first round.
I don't know. I think if the Chargers don't try to get Blake Corum, I'm gonna be
Hmm.
really surprised about that, dude. I really am. I think that he's the kind of guy that Harbaugh would love to get into his offense and just say,
Yeah.
you know what, we're gonna run with this guy and we're gonna go. We're gonna because I already know what his attitude is, and I don't have to worry about nothing else.
You know,
And
I think Ray. I think you know Jim Harbaugh, and I think everybody's gonna be like, oh, he's gonna try to get Blake Corum, or oh, he's gonna try to get Roman Wilson. I actually think he's gonna try to get some offensive linemen, especially the guys that are not gonna be in the first two rounds,
that's the
like
thing, though. You don't have
Darius Henderson. That'd be
right.
great for him to get a Ladarius Henderson,
You
a
could get that guy
Nugent.
later, yes.
Yep, yep.
Like
Who's the one that just got hurt again? Not yeah, Nugent, right? Straight. Yeah, he was the one that just got hurt. Someone like him who just got hurt, but he's not going to get drafted high because he literally just had a serious knee injury. You get somebody like him, stash him, let him get healthy, and then pin him out later on. Jim Harbaugh loves stuff
I
like
wonder,
that.
I wonder what they're going to do with the
Or
fifth pick.
Keegan, the what?
I wonder what they're going to do with the fifth pick.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's definitely. I feel like I can see him getting Brock though. I don't know why. I just see it really do. But
I think they
you
should
want
go
to?
offensive lineman, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at that either. I honestly would. But
Offensive
to
lineman, then go wide receiver. I mean, even though they don't need wide receivers, they're going to lose somebody.
yeah, I
Um,
think I think Mike Williams is out. So
yeah, he'd be the guy I'd rather lose if I could.
yeah,
Keep the other guys, but you need to draft younger guys too because I think the other guy's a little bit older too. So
Keenan Allen. Yeah,
yeah, I think Keenan Allen's a little bit older. I think he's
I think he's
like
like
not
30 something.
close to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Um.
if they don't go try to get him in like the Blake Corum in the third round, I'm gonna be really surprised, man.
Yeah, definitely. No, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I think he's gonna try to target those offensive line before he gets like a Blake. Just saying. Just saying. Keenan Allen is. Oh, that one shows the age here. Hold on. Let me try this real quick. 31. He's 31.
Yeah,
So yeah, you get up there. Real quick on to get back on Roman Wilson. I'm gonna give him a team, and Ray, you probably gonna hate this, but I just see him fit here. I just see it. The Patriots.
no, I could see it too though.
Yeah,
Plus, I
he's
don't know what they're gonna do about quarterback yet. I mean,
that's true.
I've heard so many weird things about New England. I mean, so many different ways they can go. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And you know what that means that no one really knows because they're not telling anybody.
Yep, yep.
Even when
It's,
they
I mean, it's hard because like, again, that organization itself is always like very tight lipped, and then you got a new guy that's coming in. Like at least with Bill Belichick, we kind of got a rhythm of how he usually kind of carry himself. We got a whole new a whole new coach that's in. and it's not a lot of buzz around him. Nobody's really talking about him. We don't know how he kind of operates. Gerard Merrill, we know him as a player, but we don't really know him as a coach. So it's like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna go more defense? He gonna try to boost up the offense? He's looking at.
I
I
think
think they have to. I think they have to as well.
It could be quarterback. It could be offensive line. It could be tackle and guard. It could be. It's not going to be a running back. It's not going to be a receiver. They're going to draft a receiver, but not with that first pick. I think they'll either draft a defensive lineman, or an offensive lineman, or a quarterback with the first. And then after that, they're going to go offense. I think they feel like the defense is pretty set, and I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't draft a corner, because I think they have a few picks, and it's a deep corner draft. So take a corner too when you need to, but I would offense, man.
Yeah.
Line. I mean, you don't really need a running back. Your running back is pretty solid. Plus, it's a dying position anyway. You don't really need to address that until later in the draft. Whatever. But you could use a receiver. But again, it's a really deep draft for receivers, so that's fine. You need to settle the quarterback position, even though I've heard that they don't feel like they need to, that they have to draft the quarterback.
I know that's the thing. Nobody knows.
No,
Nobody really knows.
I think you have to decide on who the quarterback should be.
Yeah.
And then go up and draft him, or fall back and draft somebody.
Yeah.
Get more picks.
Yeah.
Do something like that. Or draft an offensive lineman and then draft the quarterback later. I mean, there's going to be somebody in the second round that you could probably develop into okay if you think Mac Jones could play this year. Or I don't think so either, Jerome. I think they're going to wind up.
I'm just thinking like, I just hope they don't try to get JJ. I would hate that.
You know what? That's the other thing I heard, Jerome. That your buddy's going to go a lot earlier than I would think he should.
Yeah, he's. I already have it in my head that he's going to. I already do. And there's a lot of stuff that makes sense about it, and I get it. I do. There's a lot of good things. Like again, that's why I say like I really do get a high ceiling. He has a really high ceiling.
I agree with you. I do. I absolutely do. But man, based on what we know about him right now, a top 15 player. Wow.
Yeah.
That's where.
But right, and again, I've been following this guy since he was at IG Academy. He has such a good personality that like you just kind of fall in love with him. His teammates love him. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that's not like the qualifications you do to pay a guy that high, but it's kind of like if you want to start a franchise and you want to start a franchise the right way, like honestly, out of all these quarterbacks, if you're thinking about it, like I want to get a good guy in my locker room, he's gonna be that guy. If you're going on a straight, just leadership.
Don't disagree with anything you just said, except for I can't draft him that early.
I know, but look, if you're going into this draft and say this is not about talent,
he looks. See, that's to me like that's the thing. When you ask me what is a franchise quarterback, I think a franchise quarterback is a guy who elevates players around him and can carry themselves like a franchise quarterback.
Correct.
And he fits all of that, except for he has not done enough to be a top 15.
He don't have the production. He don't have the production. I get it.
And that's really the only problem about it. But I mean, man, I hate.
It's hard, right? Because like again,
that makes that pick though, man. I would. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't have him in my first round mock draft last time, so that tells you what I think about him. He's my quarterback from Michigan. I followed him from IG Academy. The reason why I was really high on him when he went to Michigan because I've been following this kid for a long time.
And I know
a lot about this kid.
I understand it, and I remember hearing about him when he, before he went to, but it's like,
yeah,
but what has he done?
No, I hear you.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he wins. But Jerome, that's what I hear though. I heard a guy literally said on Twitter, like, he's just a winner. No, Michigan's a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not saying he didn't play a part, and he did. Obviously, he's a quarterback. But Jerome, do you think they would have lost if they didn't have? I don't know that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
You can't
You're
answer
wrong.
that. You can't say
You're wrong. I
you can't
can't.
say that because
I
Ray,
can't.
because
I can't
you
answer
say you
that.
can.
I can't. I can't answer that.
Okay.
No, I can't.
Because
I can't.
and that's the thing. That's the thing that I like. I can't disagree with them, and I can't agree with them. I can't agree with picking him that high, but I can't disagree that he's such a good quarterback because in those high pressure moments, he made plays. Now, again, he didn't have a lot of plays in those games, but some of those plays, there were good plays. You know, the Roman Wilson catch, the the one that he got Blake Coleman in the end zone against Alabama. You know, and some of that is scheme. Don't get me wrong. The moment where the ball hit the ground, he had to turn around and pivot and throw it to him. That's off the cusp. Everybody talking about Caleb Williams being able to do stuff like that. JJ had a very good display of that, and it's not the thing is it's not consistent. You will see it all the time, like you see Caleb doing it all the time. So I get it. I understand what you're saying, and I understand what they're saying. I just don't. I personally wouldn't pick him that high, me, but I also can't be like I would. I can't hate somebody for picking them that high. Now, if you're picking them into like the top, like I hear a lot of people starting to say like he's the third best quarterback. I'm like, okay, that's all reach.
Who's not third anymore? Daniels or May?
May.
Wow. You know what though, Jerome? I can see that. I know I can see that because
So
like May.
I said this before, Ray. Though
No,
I said that I wouldn't be surprised if he's the best quarterback later on, like throughout his career. I wouldn't be surprised with that because again,
a lot
I
of it
said
depends on
that,
who he goes to, dude.
huh?
A lot of that depends on who he goes to.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the better quarterbacks coming out because I just again I know more about him than I know about Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams had a longer college career. So
Maybe the Dolphins since Dan Ross is a big Michigan guy. Maybe they should use
all right.
maybe they should use a
Yeah.
25th pick and trade to it.
Oh God. I mean, it's possible. You never know. It was one fit that I would love him to go to. Hold on. I would hate to see him in Denver. I don't want him to see him in Denver. I keep seeing that mock. I don't want him in Denver. Who was it? Heck. Oh, I heard this, Ray. Him going to Atlanta. I said if he goes to Atlanta, I'm gonna be an Atlanta fan, Falcon fan. I'll do him with those weapons, and they can use him kind of like they did in Michigan.
People down there hate Michigan, right?
Yeah, they do. But look, one of my friends, he's a Falcon fan, Georgia fan. He's
You know
like
what's
he's about to
crazy,
take one.
Jerome?
He's coming around.
Shame. Like he's probably going to go way earlier than he should.
Yeah.
But Pittsburgh at 20 would make a lot of sense.
I can't see him in Pittsburgh. Maybe because I don't want to see him in Pittsburgh. I don't know.
He would be good because I think the Steelers.
Because this is my thing too. Wherever he goes, I know I'm gonna be a fan of that team. I'm gonna be like rooting on that team. I just know it. I just like JJ that much, man.
Las Vegas at 13.
I'm okay with that. I'll take that.
Denver at 12. Minnesota
I
at
hate that.
11.
I hate that.
Dude, I heard that's what I heard. I heard he will not make it past the Vikings.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I wouldn't mind him being in Vikings either. Him and Justin Jefferson.
Number 11, dude. Whew.
Him and Justin Jefferson, and my boy out there. I forgot his name. Dang. That played at Pitt, and then he went to USC. The wide receiver, rookie last year.
Oh,
he played so well.
He played really well after Jefferson was hurt.
Mike, is it Mike?
Oh my God, I hate him.
Here we go.
He's a little. I knew you were talking about.
Yeah,
Oh, I
because
hate
remember I was high on him too, Ray. Coming out,
that.
I told you he was.
Yeah,
I thought he was.
we both liked him more than other people.
I had his name. You want me to tell you?
Yeah, got
Jordan Addison. I don't know why I said Mike
Addison. Yeah.
Addison. Yes, yes.
Yeah, played very
I have
well.
those two.
When Jefferson got hurt, he started playing really well.
And you want to hear something crazy? Let's hear me out on this. But the Vikings don't have a quarterback, so they can still get JJ, right? And then let's say later on they get a little Blake Corum. Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! Come on. They need a running back. They got rid of Madison. They need a running back. I'm just saying, Ray. Woo-hoo! Whoa, whoa. Minnesota would be I don't know. And they all used to run it playing in the cold too. Woo! Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
I just
But
wonder who Chicago's going to take with their second pick now.
yeah, dude, it's so much good fun stuff, man. And obviously we got all season to talk about this. So Ray, I'm gonna talk about this online because next week begins free agency. So I was thinking about doing our mock draft next week, but I think we should wait the week after to do the mock draft.
Yeah, this way we'll
So
actually know about what our needs are, more of what our needs will be. Agreed.
big brain, big brain.
Agreed.
So let's do that. So all our viewers, the week after next week, we're going to do our mock drafts because I initially wanted to do a post combine mock draft, but I knew we had receivers this week, and I knew receivers going to be a hot topic.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do. You want to do both offensive line, interior and outerior at the same time?
Yeah,
You
we
want
can
to do
do.
that?
Yep.
All right. So we're gonna do offensive linemen next week. The following week we'll do our mock draft, and then a week after that we'll start on defense. So thank you guys for definitely checking us out. Ray, you got any last words, any rants you want to talk about before we head
No,
out?
I'm good. I'm just looking forward to the draft. We're like about a month and a half away now, so we'll get
50
there.
days. 50 days.
Looking forward to it.
But who's
Getting
counting? Who's counting?
into what needs of my team and other teams, at least for the first round.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, definitely. From the looks of it, this is going to be a wild free agency year. A lot of teams got a lot of more cap room from the previous year. You see a lot of cuts already. Players are already starting to sign. Guys that can sign or sign already. We got an early trade agreement already, so it's starting already, man. The news is coming out fast and furious. I'm excited about it because it's a lot of. I'll tell you this, Ray. For us to be talking about how poor the running back class is going to be for the draft, man, there's a lot of good running backs in free agency right now. It's a lot. And the funny thing is, who's going to get paid and who's going to have to wait? That's going to be the issue. That's going to be the question in the free agency, right? So,
I think the first two or three guys will get pretty good signed pretty quickly, and then the other guys will just we
yeah, I mean, you got Saquon Barkley, you got King Henry, you got Jacobs,
Brendan Jacobs.
Brandon Jacobs. Sorry.
Those three will get signed pretty quickly because someone will try to jump ahead of everybody else. But it depends if they want to be paid. Like for one, Barkley is injury prone.
Mhm.
Jacobs production, and he's really not really been that injury prone except for last year. I think he was a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And we know Derrick Henry's a Hall of Famer, but he's been hurt. Like hasn't been as productive the last couple of years. So I think he will take a more of a relinquish some of his carries.
Hmm.
Barkley's the one guy who is
He's the most
young enough
intriguing.
to be a
He's the
different.
most intriguing.
He is, but he's also the ones like the most injury prone.
Hmm.
So I mean, okay, I mean, I like him and he's talented, man. We know what an athlete the kid is, but man, he is always like he didn't get hurt that much last year though, right? He stayed healthy most of the year.
RP, yeah, he did.
Every other year, he usually gets tinged here and there. I mean, again, I think those first three guys will probably be signed pretty quickly, and then the other guys will just kind of like we wait their time and see. You know what? Some of them may have to wait till somebody gets hurt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they got to stay in shape.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how this shakes up. But I'm excited to talk about it when it does happen, man, because it's gonna obviously affect the draft, things like that. So we'll definitely talk about it in some type of way. We're gonna obviously incorporate the draft, let the NFL guys talk about the actual free agency itself. But it all kind of ties into each other and it's all connected. So thank you guys once again for getting on with us, guys. Make sure you go to that QR code. I have mine right behind me, Ray's right under his. You can scan that right there and go to all our social media. Again, if you're not already following us on Twitter, please do so. We're very close to 10,000. Less than around 700 more followers to get to 10,000. I'm fully believe that we can definitely get that before the summer hits. So you guys can definitely help and support with that. Share this, like it, get your friends to look at it. Also go on our YouTube channel and like and subscribe. We got some pretty good numbers there. We're trying to get at least to 500 soon. So if you could just help out with that and like and subscribe there, that really does help us and support us. So once again, I'm Jerome Jones. That's Ray Roberts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. See you next week when we talk about offensive linemen. Can't wait to talk about that. And then we're going to do our mock draft the week after. So again, every Wednesday at around 7 o'clock. Make sure you tune in and also check out all our other podcasts on this network as well. So once again, thank you so much. Have a good one. And see you next time. Peace.